Do we have it up?
I have to double check. Channel. It's live. It's live. Let's go.
We are live, ladies and gentlemen.
The opening of the Schmoney podcast.
Yeah.
It has been so scuffed.
Are you gonna have to delete your tweet now about it being on Twitch?
I did. So yeah, it's New Year's 2021. The podcast is a thing now. Hopefully, I can actually finish this out for a whole year, unlike every other thing I've ever done. Because I was a part of like 2 other podcasts.
And they kind of just both died.
Okay, well, one, Carnation started one with like me, Kyle, him, and somebody else. And we called it the weekly podcast you weren't looking for. And then we did like 2 episodes of that, and then it was over. And then I think I tried starting one. It went for like a good 3 weeks, and then we just stopped. So hopefully this one lasts.
Yes, hopefully.
But how was your New Year?
Well, I was working for most of New Year's Eve and then finally got home at around 7. So after that, it was pretty chill.
Where do you work?
Oh.
Where do you work?
I work at Fry's, which is basically Kroger, but named differently. So, there I basically just bag groceries, pulling carts, do
Grocery boy.
other stuff there.
Grocery
But,
boy.
yeah, just grocery boy.
See, I have the high honor of being a sandwich artist at a class Subway restaurant. How was your Christmas?
Christmas, well, thankfully didn't have to work, that day.
I'd hope not.
But, yeah, it was just pretty chill. We had opened, presents on Christmas Eve instead of Christmas, which was pretty lame, I will admit. But, I mean, it was fun. Just had a lot of time to kind of relax and enjoy time with family.
I opened presents the day before Christmas Eve, and Christmas.
So 3 days worth of presents.
Yeah. Because my family is that disjointed.
Is there anything else?
I just watched Mr. Beast's YouTube Rewind.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting. I went ahead and watched that as well. I think one thing I did like about it is that he actually got influence from actual YouTubers instead of listening to like 3 YouTubers. Otherwise, it was kind of just a bunch of normie stuff that I really couldn't care less about, but that's what you kind of grow to expect from a YouTube Rewind of any sort.
You know, in all capital letters, neck reveal is trending because you saw a little bit of Dream's neck in the video, and I don't understand.
I don't understand Dream's fan base at all. They are weird people.
I don't understand stans in general. How do you obsess over people that you don't even know?
Yeah, I never really could understand the whole premise of that because you're just obsessing over someone so badly that it could even affect your mental health, which of course is terrible. So I just don't see why anyone would want to do that to themselves. And I feel like I don't know how it doesn't make the content creator more uncomfortable that they got viewers just kind of like hyper fixating on their content and expecting them to be perfect
I like
because I don't get it.
I there's some content creators that like have gone out and said stop. Like Schlatt in his uh channel where he gave advice to people. He just went on there and said, "Stop obsessing over me. I'm gonna stop doing this thing, just so like people stop. Just so there's more of a border between content creator and viewer."
Yeah, because I mean, some content creators they're more lax about it. Like they don't really, and that's a big issue if they're lax about it because they're kind of letting everything go as far as like how their fans react and what they make and what they do because some of them are just super weird. I mean, relating back to the whole Dream SMP thing, it was, I think it was like a 16-year-old and someone else that were getting shipped, and there was a line drawn there, but it wasn't really made clear where it was until maybe a couple days later. And those two have already said they're uncomfortable with even being shipped and with stands themselves, but Dream himself has been pretty lax, really, about how he handles the whole stan issue, and he really just doesn't seem to care, which I find a little concerning considering the fan base and the amount of reach he has in the YouTube community.
I think he speaks out about it, he's gonna lose like a good 5 million subscribers or something.
And that's
There's
not a
just
big deal to him.
it's just like in this year alone, dreaming from 1 million subs to 15 million.
If he denounces those stands and they actually become what most of them already are, which are fans, the stands will leave. That's about maybe a pretty small minority of the community gone, which is great because those people, they shouldn't be anywhere near a content creator. They're dangerous in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like stans like try their best to justify themselves no matter what. Like they're just like, oh, I'm just a really big fan. That's why you have a profile picture of them. You only tweet about them. You reply to every single one of their tweets within seconds. You call a 16-year-old cute. It's just weird.
Yeah, I just don't know if some of these people know the difference between stan and a fan to begin with, because some are completely okay with considering themselves as stans, and they believe in the reason of words can change meaning. Now, I agree to an extent. Some words, yeah, maybe you're right. It varies over time and how the word is used, but that there are some words that really can't change meaning. And I think standing is one of them because what we've grown to know is Stan is basically obsessive fan. So, if you aren't obsessive over a content creator or whatnot, you're just a regular fan. You just support the creator and you like their vids and whatever. But if you're going obsessive over them and you start shipping them together and all that crap, that's where it's kind of drawing the line and you're just kind of going over at that point. That's where you're starting to grow a little too obsessive with the entire community.
Especially if they're underage.
Yeah, it's really concerning how the whole community, at least the whole Stan community, has handled it. Because they are so transfixed on the fact that they're stans and not fans because they want to be called something different because they're special. So,
I think the word stan
yeah.
has changed meaning from its original, but not in a good way. It has just been going downhill. Like Stan was just like people that like K-pop and then would reply to every tweet with fan cams, and now it's just people obsessing over people that play Minecraft.
And I honestly wish we can go back to those days where it was just like K-pop fans just responding with their garbage fan cams that I could care less about. You can just turn off autoplay and you're just like, alright.
And then Keemstar
But
calls them out.
yeah, and then we get the whole war going on, which is funny for like 2 days, and then it kind of dies off again, and nothing happens. But this new group, this new, I guess,
New era.
generation, this new era, yeah, that's a better word for it. This new era of stands is, well, I mean, most of them aren't even stands to begin with. They're just fans, as I've said before. But that minority of actual stands hurts communities so bad. It gives them such a terrible look. Because if you single out those people alone, that's damaging to to what a content creator allows from their fans and how their community is in general. So I think they're really dangerous towards not only other people, but to just their community as a whole.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these content creators that have stands don't realize how much power they have by tweeting out something. Like when the Dream cheating allegations came out, Dream had so much power over everything that was said. Like I don't even think he realized what he was doing.
What I took a lot of issue with Dream is that in the entirety of when he was called out to begin with, he was starting to phrase tweets almost like Trump. It almost sounded like Trump with how he was phrasing tweets. It was a little concerning because you shouldn't be just going after other people just because you were caught maybe cheating during a speedrun. That makes no sense. It shouldn't go to that extent. And then like I said, how he handled it, where he was calling out the mods and completely sending his entire fan base. If I don't know if he knew or he did it or not, but inadvertently he had sent his fan base toward those mods to send hate. And maybe a week or two later, he actually says, "Hey, don't send hate toward these mods." It's too late. The damage has been done, and then you got the vid out. Congrats! You completely. I think the guy that they had who was a statistician or whatever, he completely missed the mark. It wasn't even. I don't think he calculated the exact right things that the mod team had been looking at. There was a couple of things that he was right on most of the calculations, but he missed on. He was kind of just off the mark as far as what they were actually calling him out on.
So there's this GTA 5 speedrunner, Dark Viper AU.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was watching.
yeah, I watched it too, and I feel like Dream really helped his case in that interview. But the problem is, not a lot of people have seen that. Like, unless the algorithm does its thing, not a lot of people are gonna see that. And I don't think you can lean one way or the others between like the mods and the statistician because they both got things wrong. You can't say either is 100% correct. But what you can say is that there is a possibility that Dream cheated. Even the statistician said that in his paper.
Yeah, and I mean, even if Dream does get caught, like even if Dream is found not cheating at all, I still think how he handled the situation was really bad. Like, he probably should have taken a step back after all that and been like, okay, wait, I got way too much power to start sending my fan base of like 3-year-olds toward everybody.
Oh, and he's like a
Because they messed up like maybe a little bit on calculations over a apparent 16th place run when he's got a 5th place run verified, so I don't really know what's up with that.
I think the 5th place run came later. Maybe not. I don't know.
No, I think
I
it
don't
came
really.
earlier.
I don't really keep up with it. But I don't think it's more. I think it's more or less like about this character being put in question rather than the run. Because if Dream came out and said I cheated, then that's really gonna hurt his growth, his
Yeah.
character.
And then when he acted like that again hurt his character. I think he should have said, we're gonna get somebody on the case, we're gonna try and look over these numbers and appeal this review and see if maybe we can get it verified, and go from there. If he just says something along the lines of that, I don't think he gets as much hate as he does. I think his character is still well after that.
I find it funny that on Twitter, he said like pretty much nothing good, but then once the video came out, it was a complete 180. Like on Twitter, it's just all these mods are wrong. I didn't cheat, and then in the video, it's just well, these mods are just volunteers. They're not trained statisticians. You can't expect them to get everything right. But I hired a statistician to try to get what they got wrong. It's just like that's not what you were talking about. Like it's almost like it's almost like he's trying to manipulate his audience, but I don't think he is.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen where like different content creators will manipulate their audiences into thinking one thing when they've twisted it so badly that their audience doesn't understand how badly it was twisted. Because there's another situation going on in the 2K community. I don't know if you keep up with that community, but there's a group called 2Hype that is in pretty hot water right now because they just had one of their members leave. Actually, I think this member was one of the core members' friends from like elementary school, and he left out of multiple different reasons. But to get back to the point, 2Hype was definitely manipulating their audience before, saying that Los and content creators Los and TD were pretty lazy, when in reality they really weren't. But it was so badly twisted and manipulated that 2Hype kind of got away with it, and people believed them for such a long time until Nobi eventually left. But yeah, it's all about how massively a content creator can manipulate their audience and save their own face, I guess.
And well, do you remember like what happened with Slazo?
No, I can't remember, but I would like to know.
Well, okay, the thing is like half a year ago, some person on Twitter with like a collaboration of a bunch of big content creators put out like a twitlonger saying that Slazo was like sexually abusing her and like demanding like pictures of her and stuff like that. And it took him months to put out like an actual apology with actual evidence and she was proven completely wrong. And most of the people that were with the original victim, quote unquote, said, oh, hey, I was in the wrong supporting her. Don't. But then there was like somebody, I forget who, but they just like refused to pull out their support and just kept on trying to keep it going. And so it was just such a big manipulation because everybody clowned on this Slazo for being pretty much a predator, and then it turns out he wasn't, and pretty much his whole career was over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once it gets to the point where you're even assumed as, whether it be like a pedophile or a predator of some sort, your reputation is ruined. It does not matter if you're found innocent or not, your reputation is ruined. You might as well just have your career ended there, not even try, because there's no one that's gonna listen to you, because now everyone thinks you're that. Before they even hear another word about it. So That's just how the internet works, I guess, where just because the first person that says something is always true when sometimes it really isn't that case. It really isn't the case, but
It's like playing
you know,
Among Us where you just yell. And it's just a shouting match.
it's
Hey, he
just
did
like
it.
a
No.
public, yeah, it's like an Among Us public lobby where you say orange sus and then everyone votes orange.
You see what's going on with Mini Lad right now?
Yeah, Mini Lad is in some pretty deep water. I
I
think he's
mean,
going
it's
through.
true.
Yeah, this one is true. This one, there's no way he's coming back from it. He might as well just probably stay off the internet for
He,
the rest of his life.
he has two apologies, and neither of which he admits to it. Like, it's clear that he did it, but he just refuses to say, I did it. And of course,
Even it really doesn't matter how he goes about it. If everyone already knows he's guilty, he's guilty. He's not. It doesn't matter how he goes about it at this point.
he tries to manipulate his audience by cutting out all the worst stuff that was said.
Yep.
It's just like, come on, man. You ever look back on like old creators I used to watch and just think, why are they doing this? Because like most of them just don't change their content, and now it's just so cringe. Like, you ever go back and watch Sky Does Minecraft?
Man, I haven't watched Sky in a couple of years.
Yeah, he's still making Minecraft videos, and they're still cringe even though he's older. He's trying to do the same thing he used to do.
I think what he's doing is trying to appeal to a new generation of kids, which is awesome. I do think more people should appreciate like the stuff he did for the Minecraft community when it was just starting out and even afterwards. Of course, I don't really catch myself watching his content unless it's like older stuff with like Team Crafted or whatever, but
Do you remember his beef with KSI?
okay, that was funny. Net Nobody versus KSI was hilarious.
I mean, they both kept dropping fire tracks, I will admit.
Can we get on to Nate Robinson versus Jake Paul? I think we should talk about that. I think we should.
Man got dropped.
Dude, that was the worst fight I've ever seen. I was counting on Nate Robinson to finally do something, and then he just failed so hard. I have never seen a man just die.
I just love seeing the NBA players just clown on him. I think my
Yeah,
favorite is Curry replying to his
yes,
tweet, "Gonna shock the world. I see no lines."
he shocked the world, alright. Dude was hugging Paul, and then got dropped.
It wasn't even
Man.
like a series of punches. It was just one good punch, and dude went down.
Dude, Nate Robinson was just swinging just to swing. He was swinging for the fences. He was not holding back any punches.
Honestly,
Obviously, that didn't really work for him, but
I feel like if Jake Paul and Logan Paul wanted to, they could actually become like respected boxers, but they're just going for money matches, so people are just clowning on them. Because they're actually putting in work and actually getting better. But they're like, "Hey, Floyd Mayweather, come fight me. I'll give you $200 million."
I mean, regardless of how those boxing fights go, they're both getting some huge money because people are paying for the pay-per-views for some reason. I don't know who is doing that, but they need to not do that anymore. That's a good waste of like $50.
Well, even if they don't pay for it, like they're still getting like sponsorship for the fight, so they're still
Yeah,
getting
they're still
millions.
getting paid regardless. Yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to sponsor it because You get your sponsor, you get your logo in the right spot, it'll be on the internet for years.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm hitting a sick drift right now.
Noise.
What do you think is the most difficult form of racing?
The hardest, from what I could tell, I want to say F1 because there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, from the engineering to how the cars perform, how they drive, how the buttons work, what they do, and pretty much everything that goes into this sort of computer-ish car, I guess.
Like, what about like from like a driver, just purely a driver's perspective?
From a driver's perspective, without having to deal with all those buttons and everything, um, honestly, I don't know how, like, endurance races, I don't know how they do endurance races, to be honest, because I couldn't imagine sitting there for an entire stint of, like, 3 to 4 hours
I mean, that's about
if
like
they
an
go
average
that long.
race, though.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're talking about, like, maybe the Le Mans 24 or the Rolex 24, when they're going like that long, I just don't know how they do it, because that is a terribly long stint um, for those cars, because you're taking them through a road course. Meanwhile, say maybe NASCAR F1, they last maybe like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours, or like maybe even even shorter than that, depending on the race. But if you're doing a 3 hour stint, say around the Daytona road course, that doesn't seem too bad, because Daytona road course, it's kind of easy, not a whole lot of elevation change. So I don't think there really is an elevation change there, besides maybe the banking. Um, but yeah, it just seems hard to do because you're driving in that car for such a long time, and you're even having to race overnight. Oh man, that would be difficult for me to do.
I always say rally racing is always just, it's the it's the motorsport I have the most respect for, because I don't understand how these guys take a car that put it on a trail that's just narrow enough for the car and whip it around there and not get any damage to their car. Like, how do they do that? I don't understand. And like they
And
finish
it's
like a
not
two
like
mo they finish
it's
like
not
a
like they're
two.
race. Oh, sorry.
No, go
Go.
ahead, go ahead.
And it's not like they're racing either. Like, they are hauling through these mountains as fast as possible, trying to get the best time. That's a really difficult thing to do, because you're trying to get around like every bit of downhill and uphill you can, and then also trying to make sure the terrain isn't bad enough to where you're falling out of the, like, where the line is, because if you mess up there, you're losing a lot of time. So I find that pretty interesting as well, how they do it.
Not to mention the cojones you have to be able to put your car an inch off of like a 50-foot drop. You gotta have something down there. I think he's dead. R.I.P. Schmoney podcast. And no, how about that sports game? Oh, I gotta clown him for that. Hey, how about them Cardinals?
I am very worried. We lost to CJ Beathard last week, and that was probably the most infuriating loss I've seen, because that was a chance right there to basically lock ourselves into the playoffs, and we could control the Bears' destiny from there. But now we have to we still get control of our own destiny with the Bears taking an L, but we have to beat the Rams, and I mean they're starting someone who hasn't even taken a snap yet, probably. Because Goff with a broken thumb, I don't see him doing anything. Last I checked, Kyler Murray was fully participating in practice, so he should be cleared for the game. So I'm just hoping that we can finally clutch up and win this last game and get ourselves into the playoffs. So it'd be the first time since 2015, I'm pretty sure.
All I know is I ain't got nothing to worry about. Cause I
Denver
ain't making
Broncos
the
going for
playoffs.
that. Denver Broncos going for that #1 overall pick.
I
Although it's
swear.
locked down by the
I
Jaguars.
swear. If the Raiders don't try, and then we decide to pull out our best stuff we got just to beat them, I'm gonna be so mad.
I gotta see if the Raiders are competing for the playoff spot.
I don't think they are. If they are, then thank God, because we have no chance of beating them. We're just gonna get a better draft pick, which we need, because our team sucks. We have a backup QB starting.
I mean, it definitely is gonna. Actually, you guys are pretty good from the first round pick. You guys have quite a ways, so.
You know how most people say, like, somebody's like a diamond in the rough? Drew Lock's a rough in the
Yeah.
diamond.
Drew Lock is just not your guys' future.
Like, if
This
he
whole
could just...
quarterback phase is gone, except for Josh Allen.
Like, you can see that Drew Lock has talent, but he just doesn't do anything with it.
Yeah, almost like Dwayne Haskins. I think that's kind of why he got released to begin with, because, I mean, he had flashes. He had showed flashes of talent, but I don't think Ron Rivera really trusted him to begin with, which didn't really help. And then they let him finally get some starts in, and when he did start, he was making some terrible reads and really just eyeing down receivers as they were making the route, which is easy for linebackers and safeties in the NFL to pick up. So it was I kind of hate it for him. I feel like they should have given him a little bit more time to develop, but yikes.
What he was doing off the field kind of wasn't very good.
Yeah, what he was doing off the field, I think, was the pretty much the sealer in his fate. That basically decided that he was gone, because there's no way they can keep someone who's that much of a danger to the team's rep, besides maybe Dan Snyder, who doesn't really care anymore at this point. But yeah, Haskins pretty much brought it on himself, unfortunately.
I feel like Broncos fans try to pinpoint every loss on something specific, when it's just like everything. It's the ownership, the coaching, the players. It's just like, we need an entire rebuild.
If I'm Denver, I get rid of John Elway. I get rid of him immediately. He had maybe one good season on defense. The defensive side was the only good season he had. The offense looked abysmal because, actually no, 2014. I think John Elway is in 2014. Offense was good, defense was alright, and it didn't work out for him, obviously, in the Super Bowl. 2015, he had a great defense, terrible offense, because Peyton Manning was garbage that year. And
Hey, don't talk about the GOAT like that.
oh, well, facts don't care about your feelings. But yeah, Peyton Manning was abysmal in 2015. I think starting Brock Osweiler right there was huge. Ruined the Texans, absolutely destroyed the Texans. But it works for them to get the Super Bowl ring. But after that, Elway has not been that good of a GM. I don't know why he still has the job.
It's just... It just sucks. Because, like, you're not gonna get rid of John Elway. John Elway's a legend. You can't get rid of him.
Sure you can.
But like, even if we just get rid of John Elway, there's still so much work that needs to be done. And like, even if we get a better QB, our wide receivers aren't too terribly good. We aren't gonna have like a good playoff run if we have one at all.
Yeah.
Our defense needs work too. And it's just like, what do we need? What do we really need?
I think your guys' defensive backs are good. Justin Simmons had a stellar season for you guys this year. I think the defensive backs are good. If we can get a healthy Von Miller, he'll be good. I think, of course, damn it, what's his name? Crap. Bradley Chubb, there you go. I think Chubb could be good. On that defensive, like as an edge rusher, I think he's going to be good. I think the main concern is maybe the inside linebackers and the defensive line.
Yeah.
There's a couple good players there, I think. I can't remember really off the top of my head, but
I'll be honest.
yeah, I would.
I don't really know much about how the Broncos are playing because none of the games I can watch. I have not been able to watch a single Broncos game this year because they're all on a stupid little kind of local network and it makes me mad.
Arizona always gets like 4 o'clock games, so I can watch those easily.
I forgot the NBA season started.
Yeah,
It feels
Suns
so weird because it
2-1.
just
They're gonna
ended.
Dude, Sun's gonna go 71-1.
Better than 2016 Golden State or whatever year that was.
I don't know if you've seen my account recently.
I see that you got beat by the boys.
You got beat by the fellas.
Or the fellas.
And then I always tag the like the team's account that lost.
No, I don't have a good. I can't find a favorite team in the NBA. I always find a player that I like. I just can't find a team.
You could always join the Suns bandwagon, alright? The Suns bandwagon hasn't left the station yet.
I'm already on the Tyler Hero bandwagon.
Oh no.
I watched game 1 of the semifinals against the Bucks. And I was like, yo, I like that guy. Because I was at work and we were slow. So I was just like watching the TV. And I was like, yo, that dude looks pretty awesome. He's playing pretty well. I like him.
Yep.
And that was pretty much that was the same thing back when I first started watching the NBA. And that's how I like got into Curry. And so I jumped on that bandwagon.
Look, we got everyone on Phoenix, alright? We might have lost Kelly Oubre and
Isn't Oubre on the Warriors?
yeah, Kelly Oubre is on the Warriors now, which is unfortunate.
The Warriors are bums.
We also lost Aaron Baines, but we got Chris Paul and Mikal Bridges, who is looking amazing this year.
Imagine being Klay Thompson, man.
Poor Klay Thompson, this dude is always injured. And it's always like a season-ending injury, too. It's so bad.
Curry and Klay out last year. Then Warriors fans finally looking up at 2020, 2021. And then Klay's like, oh, there goes my ankle. My Achilles. It's so bad, but it's so funny. Man's gonna pull a Brett Moffitt and just come back swinging hard. How about Brett Moffitt? What are your thoughts on him?
Like Brett Moffitt, dude, I still don't understand why he got kicked out of his GMS ride. I just don't understand. I know he wanted to go to Xfinity pretty bad with our motorsports. They actually look like a playoff contending team. I think they're definitely going to make the playoffs with how
I mean,
like short of
Brandon
competition.
Brown made the playoffs last year. I
With
think.
how short the competition looks in the Xfinity Series, I think our motorsports could easily get into the playoffs and maybe into the round of 8, but I don't think they get any further outside of that.
I think they'd only make the first round because they're a team. They're still a low budget team, but with Brett Moffitt at the wheel,
Moffitt was able to run up front with that team for a little bit, but I mean, I
he
don't
got
know
a
how
couple
good
top
it is going to
fives.
be after that. Yeah, he's able to run good mid-pack.
But I know at the end of the season they started to fall off. I don't know if they're just kind of trying to save money,
Yeah.
similar to what RCR does. Like they get their win on the season, locks them in the playoffs, and they're like, okay, there goes your budget. We're waiting to the playoffs. Dude, I think Austin Dillon's one of the most underrated Cup drivers.
Uh, under, yeah, I think he gets a lot more hate than he really should get. I mean, I know I've done it to him, but it's kind of just out of spite for just no reason.
I mean,
Um,
2019 was easily a year you could say that's not a good year.
Austin Dillon was terrible 2019. 2020, I feel like he did good for the equipment he has. I think him and Reddick both made a good step up in 2020.
Both were playoff contenders. Then Austin Dillon got his win, and Reddick was still trying, was still up there to contend, but his equipment just couldn't match up with Hendrick.
If Cole Custer hadn't won that race, Reddick would be in the playoffs.
No, I think,
I think it would be Jimmy Johnson,
yeah,
but
Jimmy.
I think there was a
Reddick was like
couple
up with them up
surprises.
until like Dover.
Yeah.
I just hope Byron has a good season. Because if Byron doesn't do this good, doesn't do good this season, I think he's out. His current performance just is not cutting it, especially with the level of competition Hendrick is going to be at, and probably who's going to be available, like Tyler Reddick.
Hmm. Let's see. How about some of the latest NASCAR news, I guess, since we're on the topic. Um,
Larson's reinstated now.
yeah, Larson is officially reinstated. I think Hendrick's going to take a pretty big step up next year, especially with them combining with RCR engines. So I think both sides of the coin are going to get some pretty big upgrades. So should be interesting to watch the Chevy camp next year.
I don't know how Larson's going to do. I don't know if he'll be able to like come back and just come back swinging, or if it's going to take him some time.
I think if anything, he gets a top 5 at Bristol Dirt, and then maybe a couple other tracks.
Like
I
I
think
fully
Bristol
expect.
Dirt's going to be a terrible race, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's not going to be much passing. You're going to have maybe 4 or 5 guys that know how to drive on dirt, and the rest are just dudes that came from asphalt.
Yeah, I think Ryan Preece is going to struggle really bad. Sorry to the Ryan Preece boys out there, but yeah, he's going to struggle.
I think if I had to choose a top 5 for that race right now, it would be Bell, Larson, Briscoe, Austin Dillon, and maybe like I'm trying to think who came from Logano. I don't know why I think Logano, because he came from the same place as Preece, but I just think Logano would be the type of guy to come out of nowhere. Wait, no, Chase Elliott, because he did some stuff on dirt.
Yeah, Chase Elliott's done some stuff on dirt. I don't know if I think that might be the reason why he decided to. I think he's taking place in the Chile Bowl Nationals, of course. But, I mean, I might be wrong there.
How about all the NASCAR guys going into the Rolex 24?
The Rolex. Yeah, I think the NASCAR drivers entering into the Rolex 24 is going to be pretty interesting. it's gonna bring up a lot of competition between those guys in particular. I'm hoping, of course, that those guys are able to race against each other.
I think
Even
Austin
though Jimmy
Dillon.
Johnson's retired, I think he's gonna do the best out of the out of them.
I think Austin Dillon is like the only one that's racing in a different class.
Yeah. Um,
Rickware racing of all things.
oh boy, I don't know how good their team is as
Um,
far as the World Endurance
I
Championships
think
go.
they're like one of only 3 teams in that class, so
Oh, easy
they
podium.
don't have any competition really.
I think the most interesting team by far from this Rolex 24 is Jimmy Johnson's team. That is basically the all-star team of the 90s right there. Just all placed into one Rolex 24 team, which I think is going to be fun to watch.
I think I really wouldn't see why they wouldn't get like I don't know. I wouldn't see why Lexus wouldn't try to get Kyle Busch back on, because he was like one of the fastest on that team last year, and it's like he could use the experience because like a month later they're gonna be going to the same exact track.
Hmm.
I think that's why you see so many NASCAR drivers entering. What are your thoughts on the next gen car?
Um, I think the next gen car will be, I think, better in the mile and a half because that's an area that is pretty lack that's lacking really bad for this package that we have right now. Maybe besides restarts and like 2 or 3 tracks where it actually works. Otherwise, mile and a halves are arguably some of the worst on the schedule so far. But I think this next gen car is going to be. I think it's going to change the mile and a halves at least a little bit more. We can get some better racing in general.
I think what they really have to focus on is eliminating side fours, because if they get rid of more side fours, then they can lower the amount of down fours, which creates the better racing, no matter
Yeah.
how much horsepower you have.
Yep.
But I think the diffuser is a step in the right direction on getting rid of the spoiler to add the downforce. I think there will be a smaller spoiler on the next gen car. I don't know how much
I think.
smaller.
If anything, I'm hoping that NASCAR goes with a small spoiler for most of the tracks and then goes back to that large spoiler for the super speedways. Because I actually do like that a little bit more.
Yeah, I think like it's so hard to like publicly say your opinions on this package if they're positive, because so many people just despise it no matter what. You could have like a great race that's better than any race you've ever seen, and people just like, yeah, but there's no horsepower, so they couldn't really drive the car. And then Jimmy Johnson saying, oh, I just want to drive cars that have way too much horsepower. It just really didn't work.
Yeah.
I watched a video about SRX,
Hmm.
and like, I didn't really realize this, but they're gonna be like good competition for NASCAR. Because not only could it possibly bring in more people to watch motorsports as a whole, but it could drive NASCAR to see, oh, we're losing fans to these guys. What are these guys doing different than us? And then boom,
Yeah, I
NASCAR
think
magically fixes everything.
it goes one or two ways with SRX. it either takes off and NASCAR realizes that there's a lot of opportunities that can be found if they decide to go somewhere around where SRX is going, or SRX falls off the face of the earth. I doubt the second one's going to happen, but in that case, I don't see NASCAR gaining any other competition after that, because SRX is huge right now as far as how much buzz it's getting, how the driver roster they're having, and the tracks that they're putting on. I think they're all going to be very interesting to see, but going in, I think it's a little overhyped. I think right now there hasn't been a race done. We haven't seen how the cars are. I think, honestly, the design of the car looks a little bad in my opinion, but otherwise it's manageable. But I still think it's a little bit overhyped.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's overhyped because people are like, oh, I had input. These people are like paying attention to me because the fans chose what the car looked like pretty much. And then once the big old splitter came on, fans were like, no, get rid of that. And everyone's like, oh yeah, sure, we should probably get rid of that. And now people are just like, hey, this is a racing series that listens to its fans. This is going to be great. When I don't think the racing product is going to be really all that well. Because you can't really control it like you can with other things.
I think the issue is with letting the fans decide what the car design is that the fans don't know what they want. They think they want one thing, then they see the racing it provides, and they want something else because they don't. It's not the racing that they thought it was. And it doesn't matter how you do it. It's always going to be that same group of people where they complain and complain, although this is exactly what they wanted. So I think there's a big issue with letting the fans decide, and if it doesn't work out, it's their own fault.
Not to mention you have that like group of people that think they're engineers.
Yeah, they think they know how every bit of the car works.
Matt and Brett is telling you to play it. Okay. He wants you to play your Madden game.
Okay. I'll get to that.
I don't know why that was so hard to say, but... I think the driver lineup is weird for SRX. I think they don't have enough mainstream drivers. Like, obviously...
I think it's a talented group of drivers, but I don't know how well it's going to work out if they're all on American tracks. I feel like they should have made it more like a worldly type of thing where they touched on tracks from all around the world. Kind of like how F1 does it, but...
That's what we need. That's what we really need. We just need the motorsports to go worldwide. Because you look at F1, F1 really is, like, it's so weird that F1 is widely respected in, like, the UK and stuff, and then you come to America and NASCAR's just, like, looked down upon. Like,
yeah,
Lewis,
I feel like if we gave the experience to more people in general, I think there will be a lot more people who would respect the sport and kind of look at it differently.
like, Lewis Hamilton has been knighted by the UK.
I think you mean Lewis Hamilton. I think you mean Sir Lewis Hamilton.
My bad. There's assassins outside my house right now.
Get in there, Sir Lewis.
Imagine the announcers having to say Sir Lewis, Sir Hamilton.
Sir Lewis going down the Sir Lewis Hamilton back straight.
I don't understand how people say Hamilton is worse than Schumacher. Same number of championships, more wins, and like pretty similar rules. It's not like comparing Petty to Johnson.
Yeah. I think Petty's 7 championships are the least impressive out of all those that have won 7.
I put
Um,
when I rank the 7-time champs, I say Johnson, Petty, Earnhardt. Just because
really,
Still had impressive stats, no
he had
matter how you
impressive
look at it.
stats for sure, but I still don't think Petty was as good as Earnhardt. I think Earnhardt, even with the least wins out of the bunch, I still find the era he raced in a little bit more impressive than Petty, because Petty was racing with like literal plumbers and shit. So I'd count them as Mickey Mouse championships.
I really like. It's so hard to tell because both like all of them are racing Hall of Famers. All of them have impressive stats for their time, and it's just like there really isn't a best.
I think Johnson is still the most impressive because the playoff system and the chase system that he had to win it through, and he managed to do it 5 times over, is super impressive for any driver to do because, like, it's so gimmicky. It isn't based on who has as many points. It's
But
all
the
trying to
thing
get them as
is,
close as possible. But I find it really impressive that he managed to do it.
it almost made it easier because you really didn't have to focus on your whole season. You just kind of had to focus on being safe to make it to those 10 races, and then focusing on those 10 races.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, anything could go wrong. Like, anything that 2018 could have gone wrong and completely killed his championship hopes. But nothing did for 5 years in a row, which, again, is pretty insane.
I think winning a championship now is more impressive than winning it in like 2011.
Compared to, yeah, 2011 compared to now, I think winning a championship in general should deem yourself worthy of being mentioned in Hall of Fame conversations.
Okay,
Even though
I
Chase
was
Elliott per se is 22 or 24, I guess, I think he should at least be in conversation. I don't think he's a first ballot, but I think he's in conversations of Hall of Fame after that.
I was thinking about this earlier. Is Truex a Hall of Famer? If he retired now.
If Truex retires now, I think he still is a Hall of Famer because all the stuff he managed to do in just a 3-year span with the right equipment was crazy. I think he went from like maybe 6 wins or something like that, from like 2000 what like 9 through 2014, and
See, but the
then
thing
managed
is,
to.
like, he had one good season, 2017. It was an amazing season. And other than that, his seasons are like pretty average compared to like other Hall of Famers.
Well, I mean, with Truex, he was able to make the championship for a couple of years in a row. Again, that 2017 season was pretty impressive. Part of the big three in that year.
I think Truex being part
So,
of the Big Three in 2018 is kind of a farce.
yeah.
He wasn't nearly as competitive as Busch and Harvick.
Bush and Harvick were the big two. I think Truex was just kind of there. Everyone knew he was good, but he was kind of there.
I went to 2 races in 2018. I just didn't see my favorite driver win, which at the time was Kyle Busch. I think like 2018 was the first season I started watching, and the Chicagoland finish. I was coming back from the beach, so I had to listen to it on the radio, and I was very disappointed when I got home and actually got to watch the finish. I was like, "Come on, I could have saw this live." But no. What's your favorite finish?
Favorite finish. I feel like the generic answer would be saying Chase wins because of a fan, but honestly, I feel like the best finish this year, uh, I gotta say Talladega Fall because there was so much BS that happened. It showed
Don't
all
even
the
get me
bright
started.
spots. It
I'm still
showed
salty over
all
that.
the bright spots of NASCAR in one finish. It showed their inconsistency, their product to be able to make good super speedway racing, and be able to give favorites all in the same race. It was impressive.
I'm still salty over that. Matty Benedetto just came across the entire track to knock William Byron out of contention. And it just made me so mad. And then you had Hamlin going over there, side drafting Byron after going below the yellow line, which cost him like a top 5. Byron's had so many races where he could have won. He should have won the Coke 400 in 2018. No, Frecky Stinkhouse. And then he had every other race after that. Stenhouse took him out. 2020 Daytona 500 before stage 1. I feel like if Byron didn't have bad luck, he'd had hardly any luck at all.
I really do feel bad for Harvick because out of all the drivers at Stewart Haas, he's the only one that does anything for that team.
He's the only one that's ever done anything for that team other than Tony Stewart.
I would argue Kurt Busch because I think Kurt Busch was still kind of good with his time in Stewart Haas. Otherwise, yeah, it's literally just been Harvick and Tony Stewart that have done the most there. Clint Boyer was good for like 10 races in 2018, and then he was terrible afterwards.
He was good. He was good the entire season. He made it all the way to the round of 8.
Yeah, he made it to the round of 8. But
they all did. All of Stewart Haas made it to the round of 8. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. 2018 was their peak, and then after that, they just, besides Harvick, they just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
2019, Eric Almirola and Clint Boyer said, "Oh, we're supposed to drive."
Yeah, Almirola had a good stretch for like 5 races this season, where he was like constantly put in like the front of the
he had 5 top 5s in a row.
After that, he fell off.
Yeah. Before the season started, I had Almirola and Boyer not making the playoffs. Just because of how bad they did in 2019. Imagine if Austin Dillon wins the Daytona 500 this year. Or dies. He's already tried it once at Daytona.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what else is going on in the world. Wasn't it like a rapper that died? MF Doom.
MF Doom, yep.
I've never heard of that guy.
He died in like October though.
He did? Why is he coming up in like yesterday?
He died in October, and his family like didn't disclose it to anybody else, and then they finally did it like yesterday.
That makes sense. It's like the opposite of what happened to Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, Kobe was announced before the family even knew. That was so dumb.
Like how does they even know? How did TMZ just know? Hey, that's Kobe's helicopter. He just died.
I think TMZ might have. I don't know how TMZ got in it, but they did before literally anyone else picked up on it.
They shot it down. Like, boys, we need a headline. too soon?
Maybe a little.
It's been almost a year, it's fine.
Yeah. It's actually crazy how it's almost been a year since that happened.
Bro, I'm convinced that just May through August, just what didn't exist.
May through August did not happen, and
Even
then every month afterwards did, because
even
those
though my
months went by so fast.
even though my birthday's in August, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, my birthday was in June, and from what I remember from that, I basically did nothing but chilled. I think I hung out with a couple friends and that was about it.
You know what annoys me?
Hmm.
Working and school. I pretty much have two jobs. And only one of them getting paid for.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I just want to get through my damn senior year, but I mean, I'm working upwards of anywhere between 25 to 30 hours a week, so
So I'm only getting 10 on a lucky week.
how much are you getting at most?
What do you mean?
Like,
Like hours?
yeah, how many hours are you getting at most per week?
Ooh, I think the most I've had recently is like 12.
Lucky bitch, you're lucky, lucky, lucky.
I gotta buy a car, man. I'm not lucky.
Well, I do have that. I do have that.
I mean, it's not like I'm getting paid a lot either. I'm getting paid just over minimum wage.
I'm getting paid 12 an hour.
How would you call me lucky? You could work for 5 hours and make more than I do in a whole week.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure.
Jesus.
See, my 10 hours this week would equate me to like $75.
Yeah, I'd be at $60 after just a 5-hour shift.
Yeah.
Of course, like
I'm definitely
taxes
getting a
and
new
stuff.
job over the summer. Because right across the road is McDonald's, which is paying like $10 an hour starting.
I'm hoping I can get some form of a raise in a couple months because obviously everyone there has appreciated my work. So I'm hoping someday in the future I can get some form of a raise, but I don't really see that happening. I can't really get promoted to another part of the store either because I'm not 18 yet, and like every other place in the store does not let you move, like does not let you take it until you're 18. So that sucks.
Like, when I work, I only close. That's all I've done since school started. And like, I've completely forgotten how to work a lunch shift. So every time I'm put on a lunch shift, I'm just like, hey, you want to swap shifts? Because I forget how to prep this food. And I'm too nervous to ask because I've been working here for 5 months.
Um, yeah, most of the shifts I've gotten are afternoon shifts, which some aren't entirely too bad, but others are terrible. Like, I think there's a couple days where I worked, I think it was Christmas Eve, I worked 2 to 9, which was absolutely abysmal.
Oh, these last
Um,
couple of days, like I worked Tuesday and Wednesday, and we had coupons just come out. So we just had people rolling in constantly. Online orders, call-in orders, drive-through, in-store. Like, come on. Like, on Tuesday night, from like 4:10 to 7:50, we were completely swamped. Couldn't get a single break. I couldn't even call my manager and ask her to come in and help.
Yeah, we were pretty much the same way on Christmas Eve, and then, as I mentioned, worked New Year's Eve as well. It was basically the exact same thing all over again, where everyone was trying to get their groceries because they thought the world was ending, for whatever reason. So everyone came in and got their groceries on Christmas Eve, which sucked, but I mean, it was a 2 to 7 on Christmas Eve, or not on Christmas Eve, but New Year's Eve. So I can't complain too bad about that, but carts, trying to do those were terrible because you could maybe grab 6 or 7 at a time, and by the time you put those back where, like back in this little stall place we have them in, and you got another load of 6 or 7, there would be like 2 carts left of the load that you just put in. So you have to, it's a lot of demand and the supply. If one person misses out on their cart shift, we're screwed for like at least another 4 or 5 hours because we have to catch up on carts that badly. Thankfully, with holiday season ending, hopefully we aren't as busy as that. I'm pretty happy about that, honestly. Speaking of work, what's the most annoying order you've had to take?
Oh, okay, so these online orders, I don't know if they're limited or whatever, but there's these 2 people that just have 2 orders. They order once, you start making it, 10 minutes later, they may have another order, and while you're making the sub, and it's just like, so like our machine, like says, just blurts out, you have an online order, so we have to get to it. But if we don't get to it within like 30 seconds, the thing starts beeping like somebody stole something.
Oh my gosh.
And it doesn't stop.
Even if like you actually finally get it?
No, it stops when you get it, but it, like,
Okay.
if you're like pulling up the screen to print out the receipt, it just keeps going. It doesn't stop until
Oh my
the receipt's
God.
printed out.
That's terrible. I think worst order for me so far is there's this one woman who comes in at like 10, and every time she comes in, like it's maybe 50 minutes before we close, every time she comes in, she goes like about $250 worth of groceries. I've mentioned this on my Twitter like twice. And this lady at maybe 10, I want to say 55, 56-ish, she finally comes to the line, and we let her check out through a checkout line, even though we're not supposed to be open on a checkout line. Everyone's supposed to go through self-checkout at that point, but we let her come through, and every time she asks for paper bags, and you have to put the paper bags in plastic bags. So you get paper and plastic, and then you ring up all the groceries. That's whatever. I mean, paper bags aren't too hard to manage since it's just a lot of like trying just to fit everything in, like kind of Tetris-ish type stuff. That's mainly what bagging is, and it's just Tetris. But then afterwards, she doesn't really know what coupons she wants to use. So she kind of goes through this little book of coupons she has, and she picks out the ones like one by one of which ones she want to use. And then after all that's done, it's maybe 11:10. The first time this happened, it reached 11:20, and my manager was just like, "Dude, just go home." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." Second time, it was about 11:05, so it wasn't too bad this time, and I helped her out with her groceries, and then I went on my merry way out.
I had
So
a
that's probably
dude
been the worst so far.
the other night. I had a dude come in a minute before we closed,
Oh
and
my god, those people are the worst.
and ordered 2 6-inches, a foot long, which he changed about 2 or 3 times, and like we weren't done with this order until like 9:20, and we closed at 9. It's like, come
Yeah,
on, man,
those people are
get
the
out of here.
worst to deal with. They come in, they know you're about to close, they know the store hours, and you aren't really able to lock up until it actually is time to close. I know that's the case for most stores where you're not, or even fast food places like yours, you're not really able to lock the door and close up, so that way no other customers get in until it hits that time. I don't know if that's the case for you guys.
You if usually if I'm working with like somebody else, I'd close like a minute or two early, just because nobody's really gonna come in a minute early. Very
Yeah.
rarely. But I was working with like the closing manager,
Oh.
and like I try to do it once. She's like, "No, don't do that, just in case somebody drives by and sees that we're closed early." Like, so
Oh my
I guess it's
goodness.
happened before. It's wild. One time I had dude come through the drive-through completely stoned.
I've gone through a drive-through stoned.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So, my friends and I, we were like kind of baked. Well, one of my friends was baked. I had maybe a couple.
I didn't realize
It
you were
wasn't
that kind
off
of
of.
guy.
And I've done it like twice, but yeah, one of my friends like was baked, and then we all went through. It was a McDonald's drive-through, which is like right down the street from our house. It's really not too far away. And we went through. I remember not having enough money to pay for it. I was off by like maybe 50 cents. And I didn't even realize that I thought they had declined my card as a whole, but instead they just took out all the funds in my card, and then they let my friend just pay for the rest. And I was so stoned, I was like, dude, how do I pay you back? And because I had thought they had just declined my card and then my friend just took care of the entire order instead. So, yeah, I felt kind of dumb. I didn't know what was going on. And then there was one more time that we did it. Originally we went to Filiberto's, which is a Mexican place, and then we went to, this other place. Like, we weren't really too sure what place we wanted to go to. We went to Los Favs, which is another place right down the street from us. And we found out that they were closing, so we went all the way back to Filiberto's and finally ordered our food, and that was pretty fun. But yeah, those are the two times that we've gone through the drive-through stone.
Yeah, like the dude rolled up. I first glance, I looked right in his eyes, beat red. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
and his passenger was stoned too. So I was just like, "What do you want?"
Oh,
He's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What can I get for you?" He's like, "Oh, I want a cheese pizza." It's like,
I want
P
a cheese pizza, yo. He's off the goop.
no, Subway
Yeah,
has
who
pizzas.
doesn't like? Oh, Subway has pizza, dude.
I
I
wouldn't recommend
haven't.
it. I wouldn't recommend getting one, but they have them.
Oh my lord, that must be terrible because they use some iffy bread, bro.
It's it's like if you get
Oh,
pepperoni pizza, it's sandwich pepperoni. It's not like pizza pepperoni, so it just tastes like
yeah, it's
garbage. And
yeah.
it takes
Oh my
so long. It
god.
takes 2 minutes to make it, and it's like, just don't get the pizza. Order DiGiorno. It's the same price.
Yeah, you can easily get some frozen pizzas. There's a lot of like frozen pizzas that just absolutely smack for no reason.
Dude,
They have
Red
no
Baron.
reason to smack, but they do. I
Dude,
prefer DiGiorno's. I'm more of a DiGiorno's guy.
thin crust DiGiorno's. Fire.
I really want to get stuffed crust DiGiorno's.
I'm not a big fan of crust, so thin crust just hits it for me.
Yeah, thin crust. If you get it crispy enough, oh man, that is fantastic.
Bro, I got at least two pizza places. Well, one's a gas station technically, but it's got fire pizza. Like, it is the best pizza I've ever eaten. Okay, I should probably look in the chat because somebody's typing. Ooh. Oh, it's Creeper. Creeper, Subway did not steal Panera's idea of pizza. Oh shoot. Hold on. Can you invite Creeper?
Yeah.
So have you had dinner yet?
No, I have not had dinner yet.
Oh yeah.
I am having hamburgers though.
Yo, I had cheeseburgers.
I got some choice words.
You have some choice words.
Okay, these Panera had the pizza before Subway. They stole our idea.
I,
They saw we were doing
I don't think it's Panera's idea.
that, but worse.
I mean, Subway, I wouldn't eat it. I make the pizza, I still wouldn't eat it.
The pizza's correct. That's the difference.
Oh, is that the New York difference?
No. The Panera difference. Also, why would you go to a chain sub shop? Go to a local deli.
There
Yeah,
are
there you
none.
go.
There's none around me.
There are no grocery stores that have like a deli.
You
nearby.
don't like
It's gas station. The only one's the only one's a gas station.
you don't have a grocery store in your house.
I have a grocery store. The closest. Okay, there's Tops. It's
I don't know what that is.
it's a grocery store, but it's like overpriced.
Get 32 or something. They're all the same company. They got good day. Good price.
The only grocery store around me is Walmart that has a decent deli.
Grocery store.
Yes, it is.
No.
That's a supermarket.
It has groceries.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
It has groceries.
That's a difference.
And Subway's not fast food. Okay,
That's
Subway.
true. It's just garbage.
To be fair, most
Here's the
fast
thing.
food is
If
garbage.
it's made fast, it's fast food.
But it's a sub shop. It's not a fast food restaurant.
It's not a sub shop.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a fast food restaurant. It actually
No,
is.
no, no. I die on this hill. Subway is not a fast food restaurant.
I hope you got a good tombstone.
I do. It's your mother.
Ooh, got him there.
What was the... I don't know. Heard you actually indulged in our good friend Mary.
No, the only thing I really hit off of is like a wax pen, not Mary Jane.
Hit that Nick.
I wouldn't be caught dead smoking that shit.
Why not?
Because why would I? Why would I even want to do that?
Is it legal and everything?
It
I don't think
is. It is legal. They just made it legal.
That's a good thing.
Road trip.
Fantastic. Made it legal here. Even if I did, Massachusetts. 50 minutes away from the border.
Bro, I remember when it was just Denver that had it. Or not Denver, but Colorado.
Don't miss that.
I feel like life has been a lot worse since I realized Colorado isn't a perfect square.
I think I realized
Actually, no, it went downhill when I met Creeper. I changed it.
No.
Called the blank lady.
I've been told my social media career is gonna be ended. Yeah, I'm still kicking.
I take pride in ruining people.
I've been told I'm racist. I don't see where those came from though.
Well, I think I understand that.
I don't think Madden knows the whole backstory.
Like Donald Trump.
Guys, if I like one tweet from Donald Trump, does that mean I'm bad guy?
Yes.
It depends on the tweet. If it's the Hillary got shalonged by Obama, it's not. Or if it's the one about never seeing a thin person drink a diet Coke.
I think either one is good.
Joe Biden doesn't put this in a lot of energy.
I don't think he even makes his tweets. Does he even know what a phone keyboard looks like? It's that cognitive decline.
Oh, here we go.
I wanted to call it the Based Podcast. Or Based Schmoney.
Yeah, it based Schmoney podcast. I was just like, no.
Because Schmoney's been on my mind lately.
Dude, Schmoney always on my mind.
Hold on. Well, I got the
There are none.
There's a percentage of our viewers that aren't subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe.
100% of the people watching this right now are not subscribed, so you should definitely subscribe.
You should. It's free.
Exactly.
It's just free. It's just free subscription.
It's free, bro. Just
hit the damn bell. Hey, hit the damn bell.
If you can buy Belle Delphine's OnlyFans, you can subscribe to this channel.
That's
You just gotta say until you get another subscriber to the podcast.
Creeper, I can't say that. I can't say that.
Oh wait, I have share voice off. I just realized.
I have man boobs. I'll show those off. I have to. Party got real quiet after I said that.
Yeah, I did. Because I like the people there.
That's a bit
I
cringe.
kind of wanted to be teammates with Arrow and other Gavin.
Yeah, you could have saved bruh.
I see.
Madden, you could have saved bruh.
I could have. I really did like the option to go to esports already. I'm sorry.
I see how it is. Just let the team that brought you in die.
I'm gonna be part-time. No, I can't do full-time because I got work.
A bit cringe in it.
Oh wait, I gotta make an announcement.
Is that your gay?
No.
Gur? Bruh?
They're both not historic.
Bruh is historic.
No, it's not.
That's a long line of racism and slavery.
Alright. Alright.
How do you think you got the cars prepared, Madden?
Is it?
We didn't have a sponsor. I'll tell you that.
Sponsor you could ever get VP is
Hey, don't forget about GM.
You have to be Chevy if you do
Wrong GM.
You know
I don't think Meta knows what I mean.
No, I don't think I do.
what you tell him.
I'll let him figure out.
What your team would be owned by.
We would be sponsored by, I think you mean. Oh. You know, the team was gonna be GM bruh, but then we died. No.
Occasionally.
Who would you say is the better character, Klaus
I like Klaus, bro.
Creeper, I forget, what's your favorite Family Guy episode?
unmuted, but hold on. Let me unmute my thing so I can plug this real quick.
I don't like the noises I hear.
Alright, I got it. So if you go to the Creeper Brindle Twitter, at Mr. Creeper Brindle.
Do not go to that Twitter.
And see the tweet that I liked that was the best script of Family Guy that never got used. And it was read by your podcast host, DP.
Wait, that's on Twitter?
Follow while you're there.
How is that on? Who put that on Twitter?
By Curious Ben.
Oh my god.
It was during that HS race.
Dude, I remember HS of the league when I blew my tires and then drove in the middle of the track.
I remember protesting at Daytona, just parking in the circle.
Well, I remember I got wrecked, so then I just stole your idea and started protesting. And then my tires blew, so I decided, oh, I'm gonna go around. The only problem was I got...
idea. That's what you do all the time.
The only problem was I got to turn 1. I was in the middle of the track, so I didn't know if people were running the high lane or not. I wasn't gonna take the low line. So then people just... The little leader just pile drove me. And it was like, bro! I think it was Limestone. And then,
Limestone.
and then the caution came out, and then I didn't pit. So the same thing happened. Caution came out again. I think that's repeated like 3 or 4 times, and I left.
It did. And then they told you to park it.
HS was watching my stream the entire time too. He was just watching me do burnouts in the grass.
Did that you guys race in Southwest?
Nope.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't race in any
I know
league.
It's not around now, but there was a
No, I
race in Southwest. It was at Iowa. It was on Heat for it, and I was like wall popping the whole time.
Is that the league run by the racist?
Yes, but it's not yours.
I mean the actual racist who said the N-word.
Yeah. And who just used Kyle Larson's apology?
Yeah. And then we went and harassed him on stream.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah. And I got top 5 out of it, and he still interviewed me for it, and I never got penalized. Even though I wall popped the whole race.
Dude, NASCAR Twitter wilding on 24/7.
They always wildin'. Always a new person to cancel because they get
DP, I got a
triggered.
great idea to discuss about on stream. Neck assassins is a couple days ago.
I didn't understand a single word.
What did you just say?
Favorite member of the community.
Your mother.
Oh. Oh, got it again.
What'd he say?
Said your mother.
She's not part of it.
Oh, well, that sucks.
She's part of it. No, I actually had a funny moment at work. So one of my coworkers' parents recently died. Very sad, RIP. Anyway, they were about to leave, a person who didn't really know him. This. So, have you guys seen the movie Elf?
No, no, I
I've
haven't.
seen a portion of it.
But you saw the beginning,
Yeah.
and
Bye,
you know
buddy.
what? Yeah, they said that to them. They just said, "Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad."
Yo. Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, it was a big oof by them.
Yeah, giant oof.
Like everyone
They
just kind
know?
of cringed.
Did they
They
know?
figured it out after, when everyone didn't laugh. And they were all just kind of stood there shocked.
Oh my god.
Dude, imagine being, I don't know what's much worse, being the person he said that to or being the person that said it.
Well, I think having it said to you kind of sucked. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Like, in the moment, sure, but like, you think about it for a
It's like-
minute.
It's not like it happened a while ago, like a long time ago. It was like very few months ago, like maybe 3.
Yeah, get over it. Get real quiet in here.
That's what happened at my job too. Just got real quiet. DP, are you doing the cup race?
What cup race?
Oh wait, you can't because you got unbanned this season, so you can't participate in the spelling bee
Why can't I?
because you're not doing the Daytona race.
If I had a team, I would.
Are you signed with anyone?
No.
Oh wait, you left the league, didn't you?
Bruh left the league.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you have to.
Why do I have a team?
Ask around.
Nobody's gonna want to sign me. I haven't played the game in months.
Okay.
I don't think I've league raced in half a year.
Also, when you gonna do an F1 or F2 race? Gotta see how you compare.
I was gonna do Sochi, but I was busy with
You
Christmas.
gotta do Spain.
I don't think I'm gonna do Spain.
You gotta.
Spain makes me
And
want to
Spain-
kill myself.
Spain's Wednesday, so I'll actually be able to do that race. Let's go.
There you go.
Actually,
Just one.
I might have to work on Wednesday. I'm not sure.
Now, imagine. Imagine working nights.
That's all I work.
That's that's all I work. I only work nights.
I forgot how to work not nights.
Couldn't be me.
Like, I have to work 2 to close on Sunday, and I don't know how I'm gonna be able to get through 2 to 4. Because we have to do lunch stuff, and I don't know how to do that. Also, when I close, I don't do half the stuff I'm supposed to do. Like, we have this whole checklist.
Yeah,
half-
they don't
half-
do that at my job either. I do not like the closers at my job.
Half the
They
stuff
don't
I...
do it good.
Like, it's not like stuff I have to do. It's just like, wipe off the counters. No Maggies.
When you get there in the morning and you gotta do all the closers' job,
Oh my god.
Like, we're supposed...
I try to do as much as I can before I leave because the morning people are so lousy. They are so bad. All they do is bag and do cards, which is it's serviceable, but it doesn't do much else. Once like there's go backs that we have to do that pile up so badly once the afternoon people finally get there. And then those go backs sometimes aren't even done until like maybe an hour before close, and then the same thing happens every time. And then those same people that do carts, some of them are like in their 50s, so they take 10 years just to put in one set.
I mean, yeah, but like at a Panera, it doesn't take that, especially because we got a small cafe, right? So you just gotta do things like mop the floors, make sure all the food isn't gonna go expired before tomorrow at noon, things like that.
Dude, I don't understand how people can look at bread and say, "Oh, that's a day past expired. Can't have that anymore." Or like, not expired, but
You can
that's
tell by the
stale.
feel.
No, but like,
Yeah.
I swear, my manager just looks at the bread and is like, "That's stale. Don't use that." I'm like, how do you know? I find it crazy that my manager gets like 32 hours a week. Meanwhile, everybody else gets like 10.
32 hours a week. That's funny. I think there's only been 1 week where I've worked 35.
The most I've worked, uh, I think was like 38 in a week.
Creeper, what
Yeah.
college do you go to?
Egg college.
Creeper, I'm gonna make it my mission to go to the same college as you.
That's why I'm not gonna tell you.
How many years do you have left?
Year and a half?
Oh, so even by the time I got there, you'd be pretty much gone.
Yeah,
Why don't you just tell me?
because I don't wanna.
It's not like I can drive there and stalk you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go apply wherever he is at.
Madden, you wouldn't want to do it.
Madden, let's meet in the
No, I
middle.
wouldn't.
You're just gonna go to ASU.
No, I'm gonna go to NAU, because ASU, no.
What about Ludwig
ASU's a party
Ogren, bro?
school.
ASU just has a high admission rate, which is nice, but after that, I don't think the graduation rate's as
It's a
good.
party school. What do you mean, man?
Yeah, big party school. But I like NAU.
Madden, you trying to tell me you don't want to follow in the footsteps of Ludwig Ogren?
Yeah,
Oh, you're
It's
cringe.
not a mistake.
You're cringe.
that's exactly what I'm telling you.
You don't want to be. You don't want to follow in the footsteps of a man that has 2 degrees and just became a streamer.
A full-time streamer, baby.
A degree in journalism and whatever else.
What are you going for your degree, Madden?
Come.
No.
Bagging
I want to
groceries.
go with no. I want to go with photography.
That's gay.
Or-
That's gay.
I hope you don't plan to
Oh.
work.
God. They're so mean.
Let's
And if
back-
not, engineering.
There are 3 things that will always land you a job: computer science, a hospital job, or a funeral job. People are always gonna die. They're always gonna
People
get
are always
sick,
sick.
and there will always be computers now.
Yes, computers are everywhere.
Dude, I can't wait for everybody if like this generation become a nurse and then not be able to find a job because it's so oversaturated.
Oh well.
Oopsies.
Oh, well.
That's why I'm not doing that.
I don't even know if I want to go to college anymore, if I'm being honest.
Just do a trade school. You'll
That's
probably
gay.
make better money than a lot of people are going to college.
College jobs are
World's gonna need
overrated.
electricians or plumbers. You'd make a good plumber because you'd freak
Are you-
people out just like plumbers.
Are you saying my pants fall below my butt crack?
No, what I'm saying is you're gonna go bald in the middle of your head.
Dude, I already got a 5 head
Have
going
a
on.
mustache. You're gonna have glasses that the top part doesn't have the seal around it. You're not gonna.
I'm gonna have those glasses that split in the middle. So you can brim around your neck.
You're
My
gonna have a
fo-
short little mustache that's somehow gray already at 30.
Creeper, I don't like that you said short little mustache. It made me think of somebody.
Well, that's because you are gonna be like that guy already. Except you already are.
I'm not going to art school.
Well, DP, if you don't go to art school, that means you didn't get in.
I'm not gonna apply to art school.
What are you talking about? You're artistic. You got vaccines.
Creeper, I think you're mixing up an R and a U. Oh my. Okay, so in like 8th grade biology, we like our teacher made us like make pamphlets for like like a biome thing and like animals in that biome.
Yeah.
So my friend did like a glacier or something, and it was a very bad drawing, and he meant to say I'm not very artistic, but instead he said I'm not very autistic. My biology teacher also called me DP Gomez.
DP Gomez.
Is that your last name?
Oh, yeah, it's his new last name.
Gomez is not my last name.
It is now.
Snap, you ain't a Pierce anymore. You aren't
You're
related
from-
to the 14th president of the United States.
Well, good old Franklin.
I do love Franklin Pierce. He, like, died.
He
Who's your
invented the
favorite
peanut.
president?
Not
My
Abe Lincoln.
favorite president? No.
Favorite and least favorite president?
Well, I know. I can tell you my least favorite.
It's Woodrow Wilson.
No.
I know yours,
Yeah.
DP. It's Obama.
No, it's Lincoln.
That's somehow worse.
Lincoln did more for them than Obama.
My favorite was Theodore Roosevelt. And then my
Who put
least
Rad in
favorite,
the place?
My least favorite,
Was it George Bush? I think George Bush. George Bush is my favorite.
My least favorite, Richard Nixon.
I
I'm
thought
not
you
a
said
cro-
you wasn't a lib.
Who started the war on drugs?
Your mom.
Which president?
Your mom.
My mom's not Hillary Clinton.
It was Reagan.
Ronald Reagan. That's who I was thinking
Dude,
of.
I love Ronald Reagan.
You just said he's your least favorite.
Dude, Ronald Reagan's my favorite.
Alright.
Yes.
Best president is Calvin Coolidge, obviously.
Oh, we're picking
Yeah.
best, not favorite.
And then worst president is obviously Woodrow Wilson. Fuck that guy.
Yep. Yeah, we hate Woodrow Wilson. 14 points, my ass.
Actually, my least favorite is easily Franklin D. Roosevelt.
He was so socialist.
Herbert Hoover and Roosevelt were also not very good presidents.
Roosevelt was in there for too
FDR.
long. He was overrated.
FDR was super socialist, but we needed
Yeah.
that at the time.
No, we don't need socialism. We're America.
Not
Bernie,
anymore.
Bernie 2024.
We have this thing at my job, and it's really stupid, but I think it's funny. A lot of on Saturdays, we a lot of us just start talking in angry Republican voices. Like, we'll go like, I tell you what. Yeah, no, we'll say them dummy craps. Like actual Republican things like that.
Do nothing, dams.
And how the only place I shop is the Bass Pro Shop. I tell you what.
Talking like the dude from
Let me get my Bass Pro Shops hat.
you know the Hill Hank Hill show.
Oh, Dale Gribble.
Oh. I think you mean,
Dale
Daggum,
Gribble.
daggum.
Oh no. I know who you're talking about, DP, but Dale Gribble. It's kind of a combination of those two characters. And we also just have a tradition of when it's slow, we have a deck of Uno cards at the store. We just start playing Uno.
I wish I could play Uno.
yeah, I wish I could.
People at your job.
My job's full of stoners.
Oh, don't worry. I've had a lot of those in my time. But fun fact: top 5 reason people get fired at my job: drunk on the job.
Drunk on the job, yeah.
This dude started driving around with me, and he just messaged me, Fun riding around with you. Gonna go smoke now. Add me if you want to.
That timing's insane.
No, DP, link your YouTube channel and say, come watch.
Come watch as we also talk about the
How stupid
large,
stoners are.
the large amount of pot that stoners smoke.
Imagine
Big
vaping.
reasons people get fired from Panera. You ready? One is drunk on the job, the other is sexual harassment.
Ooh, harassment, that's scary.
There's like 2 or 3 times we've had it happen. Right. Just don't.
Just don't do it.
Like, as a team owner, I didn't have to make a statement about it, but like, I'm pretty sure I'm anti sexual harassment.
Well, until you announce it, everyone's gonna assume you're not, dude.
Well, we know my stance.
Ooh.
You don't think it should exist. You don't think it should be a law.
What's your stance,
It's like
buddy?
illegal.
Well,
DP doesn't think it should be illegal because they shouldn't have rights.
God.
He laughs because he knows it's true.
Alright.
no, I never said
Dad,
this.
did you ever hear the
publicly.
warm mayo story of how DP chugged warm
I
mayo?
didn't chug warm
Twice
mayo.
his age.
Alright, let me tell this story correctly, because I know Creeper won't.
A skateboarding stoner, you went to go guzzle warm mayo with.
Okay, so my
No,
school.
I'm pretty sure that's all the context he needs.
There is-
DP went to camp with somebody.
No, it was my entire grade.
Much older than him.
No, this is not how it works.
He was drinking the
so-
warm mayo.
No, he
So
was
my-
slurping it.
My school has this thing for 6th graders where they go to like a camp for a week, like a weekend. I mean, and like it's kind of not fun. But I was with like my best friend at the time, and for whatever reason,
Skateboarding stoner.
yeah, he was. And for whatever reason, at the time, I was just like really into mayonnaise.
Listen,
So,
now you
me
switched
and-
to a different white liquid.
Yes, water's pretty good.
It's not white.
It can be.
No, it can't. Unless it's
Yes, it
like
can.
polluted.
Flavored. You ever get those like
Shout
water
out
packets?
pollution.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
That's
What
different.
the hell is a water packet?
he means like the flavored packets, like the Kool-Aid
Like
mixers.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but it's like just for like, it's a tiny
It's
little
not
bit just for like a water.
anymore, then. It's Kool-Aid.
No, but it's not Kool-Aid. It's flavored water.
It's just a flavored water packet. That's all.
Like,
it is.
it's like
just
a-
like some
it's like
flavored
a-
powder.
It's like a little
Throw in.
slip, like as big as your
Imagine
finger.
not being able to drink plain water.
I can.
Yeah,
It just
man.
tastes
These
better.
days, I
It just
tell
tastes
you
better.
what, I tell you what, back in my day, kids would be grateful for plain water because they'd also be like Flint.
There'd also be chemicals in the water.
That are turning the frogs homosexual.
True.
Yes.
But anyways, back to the story.
Mhm.
So me and my friend decided to just grab a handful and just chuck it, run back to our tent and chuck it in there, and
It's
then head back.
important to note he meant packets. He did not just put a
Oh
handful
yeah.
of
Like typed
into
them.
his hand. Let me correct that part.
He was grabbing the Heinz. He was grabbing the Heinz mayo.
He
packet.
reached his hand into the jar. And
Just
scooped.
put it in my pocket. But yeah, we put it in there. I don't know what we were planning to do with it. I don't know if we were just gonna sit there and eat it as the night went along. I don't know what. But we just threw it in our tent and just let it be there for the rest of the day. And we got back in there, and my friend decides to grab one of the packets, and our counselor's like, "Why do you have a mayonnaise packet?" And he's like, "Oh, I got it from lunch." He's like, "That's gonna be warm now. That's not safe to eat." So he decides to rip it open and just chug it down his throat.
Yo. What the fuck?
It's important to know I never ate any. It was only him.
He guzzled down the warm mayo.
Because I was informed that day that mayo has egg in it, which should not be warm.
And then you slurped it anyway.
I didn't. It was the skateboarding stoner.
I have someone who is exactly that at my job.
I don't talk to him anymore. Which, thank God, because that kid was annoying.
No.
People are gonna say that about you one day.
They already do.
Don't worry, I know they do.
You're one of them. Can I just say Pennsylvania pizza is so much better than New York pizza?
Can I
No,
just say
can't.
Pennsylvania
There's a lot.
shouldn't exist?
That's also true.
Can we just get rid of Pennsylvania?
Okay, so I had an
No.
idea. Let's just get rid of New York City. Like, let's sell it off.
Can we
I'm
just
thinking
nuke
for,
New
like,
York City,
America.
actually?
I'm thinking like if we
They
sell
tried
it to
in
Connecticut-
Iron Man.
That sounds like a still good idea.
Yo, can we get a fucking Andrew Cuomo in the chat?
Yeah, yeah.
I was watching the
so-
Schlatt 2020 video, and the last clip I watched was him telling like a foreign girl to say "fuck Andrew Cuomo" in a
She
New York
wasn't
accent.
foreign.
She was foreign. Her name was Susu.
No.
That's foreign.
She's not foreign.
She had fat knockers though. I'll tell you that.
Sexual harassment, Pierce, back at it again.
I'm just stating an observation.
Bro, Florida State sucks ass.
Is that surprising to you?
Penn
No, I'm
State,
playing Madden.
Oh.
dude. Penn State. I'm disappointed. It's supposed to be a good team, and then just like
I thought my
no.
school would be part of the Big Ten of college football, but they're not.
Notre Dame got destroyed and I'm happy. I'm feeling
My
great.
school needs to be
Creeper,
added
do you
to
go to
the Big Ten.
Hofstra? You go to Hofstra University.
What?
You go to Hofstra.
No.
Yeah.
Did you just look up the first New York school you could find?
No, they sent me. They sent me a letter.
What if I told you I don't even go to school in the state?
That'd be kind of cringe.
I have a feeling he doesn't go to school in that state.
I could not. You don't know.
Creeper, what was your SAT score?
I didn't take it.
You didn't take moron.
You don't have to take it if you're homeschooled, apparently.
Bit
Or I
cringe.
did and I forgot.
I think you have to.
What? Then I just forgot what it was.
I got me a solid 1080.
1080p?
Sure.
Graphics card? NVIDIA? Yo,
Bro, it's
Talk about-
obviously the wall challenge.
can we talk about this real quick, TP? Like, people think, like, Atriox's just a boomer, but he makes some pretty good content.
I don't know. It's kind of average.
I like it.
That's because you're old.
Marketing Monday?
Tell your brother to shut up.
No. I'll tell it to you.
That's mean.
Oh.
I thought this was a podcast. Why aren't you talking?
I am talking.
You're not.
I am.
Not intelligently.
True. Haven't done that all day.
All year.
Oh, that's mean.
Got
No,
him there.
I'm not, did either of you guys work today?
Nope.
No.
Alright, I worked today, right?
No.
Okay.
Only probably one of 6 people not hungover. Second of all,
That's a surprise.
the whole day I was just making jokes like, I'm not sure we should be serving this food, guys. I mean, it's last year's. The cheese is a year old. We really want to be serving it.
I'm surprised they didn't shoot you after saying that.
I'm sure a lot of them wanted. I've been assaulted at my job before.
Oh my god. Yo.
I told a joke, and it started with, "Did I tell you my house got robbed?" And, and when I told them the punch, like when I got to the punchline of it, it was at that point they realized I was joking, and they weren't happy, so they just smacked me.
You should have just never said the punchline.
No. I did do that one day. I went around and I started a joke, and I told them the first half of a joke, which was, "Did I tell you someone stole my antidepressants?" And they'd go, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd left them in my truck on accident." And they'd be like, I can't tell if you're joking or not. And I'd just say, "No, I'm serious."
It's sad.
And then later I'd just say, "Well, yeah, I hope they're happy now." That one guy I forgot to tell.
I did, well, okay, so I had a personal finance class, and the teacher made us, like, make a paper of our strengths and weaknesses, and I needed one last space for strength, so I just did, like, a cliche thing. I said comedy. So then my teacher forced me to get up in front of the class and do a stand-up routine. So my only joke was, I didn't even say the punchline.
This is my stand-up routine, and you just stood up?
No, I just said, why do they call oranges mandarin? Or why are they called mandarin oranges? And I sat back down. The teacher was not happy.
There was no punchline. She's no longer happy.
I mean, the punchline is that I thought that was language. And it wasn't even my joke.
I'm sorry, I just completely phased out.
He's high. He's stoned. Madden, what'd you give him?
Huh?
What'd you give him?
Weed.
Well, the
Not
old
even
married.
marijuana, just weed.
Why are there so many drugs?
Because drugs are fun.
They're great.
Yeah.
One time at my Wendy's, my mom used to be the manager there, and apparently one of the people had like a pill in their nose, and then half of it broke out and fell into like a chicken sandwich. That,
Nice. There was a time I was working, and someone brought in, so like the plaza next to us has a grocery store. So they brought in a shopping cart to the Panera and took it into the bathroom with them, and I'm pretty sure they did drugs in there.
I do drugs in the bathroom, if I'm being honest.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good place to do it.
I saw you get on it, but
Dude, he saw you get on.
He did.
No, Creeper, get your brother to join the podcast.
No,
Why not?
No.
What's his gamer tag, bro?
he doesn't have a PlayStation.
I don't care. I'll buy an Xbox.
He does not have an Xbox.
How was he playing Destiny?
PC?
Oh, that's cringe.
So are you.
True, but
True.
kinda mean.
Oh,
There
then
we
he
go.
leaves.
I think his brother has a PlayStation.
Yes.
I don't buy that he has a PC. How would they afford it? They live in New York.
Yeah, and everyone who lives in New York just basically lives in slums.
Well, rent's so expensive. Because of Andrew Cuomo. Them,
Andrew Cuomo's
them
waking
Democrats
up
shutting down my city.
Them Democrats making
Do
mass
nothing,
people.
dams.
Damn Dems are so bad, dude. They need to get out of my state.
Your governor's Republican. I don't need you speaking.
Yeah, that's true. It's Doug and dumbass.
Doug Ducey.
And Doug bipolar.
I'm stuck with what's his face. Pretty sure my DA got like busted for like a drug operation. Being
Nice,
a part of.
dude. Big baller.
What is this podcast? We went from talking about serious topics to just melting down.
We went to a politic podcast before I could even predict it.
No, we didn't even go to a politic podcast. We just turned into nothing.
Yeah, we're just kind of everywhere now.
Oh my god,
We did have topics laid out for. Well, we got 2 hours in, but we have topics laid out like prior to us even starting, and we've already went through those, and we went another hour.
We went through those in the first half hour.
Yeah.
I think Creeper joined. For an hour and a half, we managed to talk about something, and then Creeper joined and ruined it all.
Yeah, this went about an hour further than I even was expecting, if I'm being honest.
And we're still going.
We're still going.
Unlike them Dems and that stimulus bill.
Oh, unlike them dams who declined my 2,000 buckaroos.
I'm just trying to get paid.
God damn it, I've been waiting under the unemployed line for like 5 years. Give me my money.
Are you a big fan of Malaysia Flight 307?
Yes, but only because it crashed. I'm glad that's gonna be on the stream now. Yeah.
You a big fan of United Airlines Flight 11?
Again, well, that one's different, but yes.
How's it different?
It went to a couple buildings.
Just a couple casualties.
Just a...
Nothing big.
No, nothing, no biggie, no biggie. Oh my god. Welcome to Scuffed Podcast #1.
Nah, this is just Schmoney. We're the Schmoney boys.
This is Big Schmoney.
And everybody that listens to this podcast is known as the 1%.
Yeah, please subscribe to this channel to be inside the loop. As you can tell, we only have everyone, 100% of our viewers are unsubscribed. Please subscribe. It's free. Hit bell, I beg.
Like and favorite, guys.
Like, and don't forget to share to your friends on Twitter.
Make sure you check that sub button because apparently YouTube likes to unsubscribe viewers. So go down there and check, and if it's red, make it gray.
And also, don't forget to @YouTube asking where is our 10 million subscribers plaque, because we're gonna be hitting that in 2 days, baby.
Yeah, we're gonna become Dream.
We're gonna become Dream, and I'm gonna absolutely manipulate my fan base as fast as possible into thinking that Dream is terrible.
I'm gonna show off my neck in a Mr. Beast video and get millions of people to tweet about it on Twitter.
Anyone who says anything bad about me, I'm just gonna say that they're communist. That's it. Yeah, they're just communists. They have no real morals.
Democrat.
Damn Democrats.
Them liberals running Minecraft speed run.
Damn liberals been taking away my speedrun community.
Democrats in the House and Senate took my Minecraft speedrun. Andrew Cuomo.
Andrew Cuomo's the new world record holder of Minecraft. I'm upset because these dams ruining my games.
AOC killed me in Among Us. I'm not voting for her.
Alright. I think it's about time we wrap up this.
AOC killed the corpse husband in Among Us. How am I gonna support her?
Oh no, his voice so deep it makes me horny.
His voice makes the hair on my arm tingle.
We gotta end this, dude. We are so off topic at the moment.
Hey guys, I am Corpse Husband and I endorse podcasts.
I have deep voice. I am Corpse Husband and I have a very deep voice that makes me sound like an emo. I'm sorry.
I am
so
Corpse
sorry.
Husband and people adore my voice, but it causes me actual pain.
I showed my hand on a Twitter video, and now
Now you're gonna see my balls.
Yo.
Yo. Like and comment to see my balls.
Favorite to see my dick.
Add this video to your favorites to see my fat knockers.
My fat knockers, dude. Big titties.
This turns out Corpse is a woman.
Oh my god. Imagine. That would be the strangest twist of the entirety of YouTube's existence.
Right, you got a problem with deep voiced women?
Every woman's already slipping over him, so I don't think there's gonna be any changed feelings at that point.
Well, the ones slipping over him are already bisexual at least.
Oh, that's facts.
Because he talks like this.
He has such a deep voice, guys.
Do you think people actually get off to his voice?
I hope not. That's a scary thought.
I have a feeling they do. I have a feeling they just look at his profile picture and have like
I feel that, yeah.
edited audio clips.
Oh no, please.
It's as bad as like those videos where it just like says Donald Trump singing "Fireworks" by Katy Perry.
Oh man.
Corpse sings "Fireworks" by Katy Perry, and somebody just getting off to it.
No. Oh, dude, no.
You're welcome for putting that in your head.
And I'm glad that's also now on the first episode of this podcast.
I'm gonna platform this podcast. I'm gonna put it on TikTok.
Oh my god, dude, that's a 2 hour. It's 2 hours long. How are you gonna even manage?
I'm gonna clip the good parts.
Oh, you're gonna clip the good parts and put it all on TikTok, and hopefully none of it's stuff that could cancel me because I don't want to be
If somebody
killed
watches the whole
on-
episode, we're getting canceled.
Oh, for sure. No, we've made a lot of points quite clear about ourselves.
Well, we don't care. We're Schmoney.
We're Republican people.
We didn't vote for Andrew Cuomo. Get him out of the
Cuomo's
office.
gonna ruin America.
Andrew Cuomo ruining New York City one step at a time.
Andrew Chromosome's gonna ruin
I'll tell you, that's what he's missing.
Yo, yeah, we're definitely getting canceled. We definitely hit the line.
We're gonna keep running with it.
Oh. We gotta wrap this up eventually.
It's like a ground ball and we're trying to run all the bases.
Yeah. Oh my god.
True chromosome. That's the funniest thing I've heard all year.
Here, it's the first day of 2021.
Nah, but I watched some funny stuff. I've watched some funny stuff today. You a big fan of Tommy Innit?
No. No, don't drag Dream back into this. We've already covered this topic to
No, no,
death.
no, no. I'm like, okay. So I actually find the guy somewhat entertaining. He gets a bit loud, but he's kind of entertaining. He's like, oh, I explained this perfectly in my head like the other day. He makes Jay Schlatt jokes, but with Ludwig delivery. Do you know who Ludwig is?
Yes, I do know who Ludwig is.
Okay, that's how I like see it. But then he ruins it when he laughs at his own jokes. His laugh is so obnoxious.
Shoot it. Is there anything else we can talk about?
The Democrats!
No. Oh.
I will
Anyways,
say, I've gone... I've made quite the journey in this video game. I drove from Maine to Los Angeles to Vegas to Sacramento.
Oh my god, in the space of 2 hours. I think my dinner's ready, so I should probably start heading out.
Dang, the Schmoney podcast ends its first episode. History is being made right now.
History has been made, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the best thing since sliced bread.
That's
Proven
just
by
facts.
Andrew Chromosome. Alright, see, bye, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye-bye.
Actually,
Bye-bye.